This is the Red Line Network.
Have you ever wondered what happens when a group of guys gets together and gets up too early on a Saturday to talk shit about everything and nothing at the same time? Well, you're in the right place. Coming at you live from a studio inside of a mall somewhere outside of bumfuck Cleveland and other various parts unknown. This is UnScripted. On the Red Line Radio Network.
Good Saturday morning. This is UnScripted on Redline Network. I am Deez, and we are skeleton of the skeleton crews today. Just me and Dynamite Dave over there in the studio in the aforementioned mall somewhere outside of bumfuck Cleveland. Dave, how we doing?
We're doing good, man. It's actually nice and quiet in here for a change, because normally there's a bunch of mall walkers here. There's a bunch of people coming up to the studio to ask them what's going on, but it's nice to be here an hour early to get to sit here and just relax and talk about stuff here on a Saturday morning. But it's hot. It's hot. It's hot. Got to get the AC fixed in here. Adam come look at it yesterday. They're thinking it's the thermostat, so hopefully we can get that taken care of and get that on. But if you guys haven't came out to the studio, man, come check it out. 3343 Midway Boulevard. Come check us out. We're at the Old Journeys. We'll be here each and every Saturday. We got some new shows that are coming on the network. You know, I know Michael's going to be doing a test run a little bit later, but yeah, man, we're here. It's Saturday morning. Wake up with us, get your cup of coffee, whatever you guys are doing, and spend your Saturday with us. We're only going to do an hour show since it's just me and Deez. But other than that, man, I'm doing good, Deez. How about you? How's things going with you?
Not bad. It's been hotter than shit here this week too. Like I told you off air, trying to get back into the groove because, you know, the first 2 weeks of July were nice. I had 2 3-day work weeks in a row. Obviously, we had the 4th of July holiday weekend, and then I had my, how should I put it, fun dip excursion last weekend. And the weather was nice, you know, it wasn't too hot. And then get back to work this week in the old factory. And yeah, we're in the 90s all week. At least we're not suffering from the air quality bullshit yet.
Yeah, we got sent home Wednesday from work. Or no, it was Thursday. We got sent home early half a day. So yeah, it was pretty bad. Oh yeah, it was that bad. You couldn't see in front of you out in Avon. That's right by, or Avon Lake. The lake is right there. We were working like 20 feet from the lake. So it was the visibility there was not good. Couldn't breathe hardly. But give a big shout out real quick to Lex Vegas. Knocked it out the park last night. It is Up and Smoke comedy show. If you guys are interested in going out there, check them out. Next show, September the 4th. Show starts at 8 at Lounges in Cleveland on St. Clair. Check them out. They got I'm pretty sure Lex will put together a great card, but appreciate you, Lex. And listen, I told Timbuktu this, and I'm going to tell you this. Very proud of you, Lex, on how far you have came in the comedy world and doing your shows. And I'll always support you. And if you need anything from Redline Radio, you let me know. Appreciate you, Lex. Love you. Support all that. Make sure you guys check out Lex. Go support him. Up and coming promoter. I have yet to see him perform on stage, so hopefully he puts himself on the card for that show or gets up there and does a little spiel. But very proud of them, gentlemen. They did.
Speaking of which, we have to. So you went to the comedy show,
yes,
and it was directed towards the Black community.
Yes,
is that fair to say?
Yes.
And you were one of how many white people in the audience?
One, maybe two. I think the other girl was mixed. So, I mean, it was a cool experience. I mean, I have no problem going to any of them shows. I knew 60% of the people there, got to catch up with some people that I haven't seen in a very long time, and just awesome to be there, man. And just to say this, I never knew that I would miss comedy as much as I did last night, and getting picked on, and you know, having the laughs back and forth and seeing some people that I haven't seen in a while. So it's always nice to go support, you know, Lex and Tim. They were with Redline. They'll still always be part of the Redline Radio family. So I'll go support them in anything they do. And like I said, these just Lex got a show coming up. It's not for the faint of heart. You got to have tough skin, and you gotta go in there and just listen to the comedians, because there was some shit that was said last night that is hilarious by a bunch of comedians. So go check them out. Great show. I would love to do one here at the studio.
2 other white people besides you, Dave, according to Lex. Yeah, you know, it's hilarious knowing that you're going in. Like, if you look at the bill and you see black comedian, like, you already know what you're walking into.
Yeah.
So you got to have a thick skin. I think it's a couple of things that you see. One being the fact that everybody has their phone out and records shit, but the other is just the overall thick skin, mental toughness, whatever, of the generations, like my generation and maybe a little bit of the millennials, but like the younger generation. I mean, you can sit there and scroll TikTok or YouTube or whatever all day and see people that just can't take it. Like, what the fuck are you doing at a comedy show?
Yeah.
You know, it happens. Like, just laugh it off. Like, everybody's there to have a good time. The comedian's there to make money and make people laugh. Sometimes it might come at your expense. So what? It's a joke.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the old saying goes, it's a joke, not a dick. Don't take it so hard.
Absolutely.
You know? And I love it. Like, stand-up comedy is, it's almost a lost art. Just it's kind of a double-edged sword. Maybe Lex can chime in on this. As far as like going out to a comedy show, that's awesome. But when you can just sit there and, again, scroll your TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and I see, like, every day I have comedians that come up, you know, that I've never heard of, that are just fucking hilarious. But they don't really come around this area because, like you say, I'm out here in the fucking cornfield south of Chicago. And we have one club in Peoria, Illinois, which is about 30 miles away, called Jukebox. And they usually bring in some pretty good acts. But yeah, I wish stand-up would kind of have a bit of a renaissance for the smaller comedians. You know, we used to have like three comedy clubs around here, and well, COVID definitely helped kill them, but anymore, like, look, I love the big names, you know, your Cat Williams, Kevin Hart, Shane Gillis, guys like that. I saw Bill Burr a few years ago, but it's getting to the point, and concerts are the same, but on a much higher scale. You can't really afford to go to those big shows anymore. So, you know, we need the small time guys. We need the small clubs, and then the lesser known comedians, because some of those guys are every bit as funny, if not funnier, than the guys that have, quote, made it big.
Absolutely. And you know what? Just being around there and seeing that the flowers that Lex is getting for putting these shows on, and I haven't told Lex this neither, that really makes me happy, because Lex deserves everything that he gets when it comes to this. And he kind of, like you said, Dee's brought back a forgotten art with these comedians, and, you know, having comedy shows, and very proud of them guys again, man. It's just, you know, you just sit back and you watch and you see the people that, you know, you want to give your flowers to, and people that supported you through the years, through hard times and through good times. And it's just nice to see that him and Timbuktu are still at it, doing it. And it just, it just makes, it makes me feel welcome, or not just welcome, but happy and welcomed when you go to these places, because they put in a lot of work.
Yeah, and that's an awesome point, Lex, and that's exactly it. Like, people just they don't have the skin for it anymore. Like, it's almost sad that some of the clips that you see where these people get absolutely offended when, like, so many things are just not, quote, safe to talk about anymore. And that's why I love the comedians that just don't give a fuck, and, you know, jokes are jokes. You know, I know he's a big name, but look at Dave Chappelle. Like, they've tried to cancel him how many times, over the trans jokes and shit like that. It's their jokes. It's funny, like nobody gave a shit when Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy and George Carlin was doing shit like that because they knew it was jokes. And now, this generation just doesn't want to let comedians get away with making shit funny. Like who's the kid from Saturday Night Live? Oh, come on. Real goofy looking, keeps banging hot chicks.
Pete
Davidson. Pete Davidson. His dad died in 9/11, and that's like a big part of his act. Like if somebody like that can make jokes about a situation that affected him because they're jokes and they're funny, and it's just, you had a hard day, you go out to the club, you have a couple drinks, you just want to laugh. It doesn't matter what they're talking about. If it's funny, it's funny.
Absolutely. And you're right, Deez. If you guys go listen to comedy, I knew I grew up in the 80s. Go listen to comedy from back then. Them guys and girls who were comedians back then would be ostracized nowadays.
Oh, there are
they talk the shit that they talked about. Especially, here's a good one. What was the one with Billy Crystal, Richard Pryor, and then there was another guy? There was 3 of them that did a comedy show. I can't remember what the third person was, but it was back in the 80s. They used to do it.
Comic Relief.
Yes, Comic Relief. That's exactly what it is. But who was the third guy though, Deez? Because it was Billy Crystal,
Robin Williams,
and there was another person. There was 3 of them.
Whoopi Goldberg was real big in it.
Yeah, Whoopi Goldberg, and then there was one other person that was big in that. And you can go back and find the clips on YouTube. But the shit that they said, like Sam Kinison, all them comedians, Gallagher, who was a comedian, all the shit that they said would be ostracized today, man. And just
guys like Kinison, Dice Clay, Rodney Dangerfield. I mean, hell, fuck Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor. Like they would never make it out of the small time club scene today because
don't go watch it. Don't go. You people nowadays don't go watch Eddie Murphy Raw. I'm going to tell you right now, don't go watch that because it'll hurt some feelings. It'll hurt some feelings, especially in this culture now. Don't go watch that because your feelings will get hurt and you'll think differently of Eddie Murphy after that. I'm just telling you that right now.
Yeah, the original 3 was Billy Crystal, Whoopi Goldberg, and Robin Williams, which is hilarious because Whoopi Goldberg sits her ass on that show every day and tries to cancel anything that doesn't agree with her side of things. Even dated a guy that wore fucking blackface to and I believe it was an Oscar party or something like that. And like she would never do the shit that she did back then now, just because she has been so brainwashed. And this isn't a political thing, right or left, because look, the far right and the far left, both of them are out of their fucking minds, and them fighting with each other is the biggest problem this country faces. But again, I don't want to go on a political rant.
And Ryan, you're 100% right, but we're going to spell soft a different way.
Yeah. SAWFT, soft.
Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead.
We'll get into that in a minute.
Yeah. But Lex says big fast D's. Absolutely right. Deez, we got to get you to come down to one of Lex's shows, man. And maybe Lex can go to Chicago because I know that.
Well, don't go to Chicago. I ain't going to fucking Chicago.
Okay.
But I tell you what, Lex, I don't know if you tour nationally or anything, but look into a place called the Jukebox Comedy Club in Peoria. It's a large city for central Illinois. Probably 120,000 people there. Very strong black community as well. If you do tour, put that club on your radar because it is a good club, good location, and they usually pull pretty good numbers there.
Yeah. So, but hey, keep an eye on Alex and his crew, what they're doing, man. Again, very proud of them gentlemen for what they're doing, man. And get out and support any comedy show, whether Lex is doing it or any other promoters. Get out and do it. I'm going to get with Lex and maybe we could put together a Redline Radio comedy tour and do some things, or Redline Network comedy tour and do some things. But real quick, got to pay the bills here at Redline Radio. Hey, Lake Erie. Right there, Lake Erie Poker, which is right across the street from us. They're actually going to be doing a podcast here on Redline on Sundays from 11 till noon. We'll keep you updated with that. So make sure you guys go check them out on Facebook at LakeEriePoker.com. Check them out. And then we also have the official beer of Redline Radio, which is Outlaw Beer. Corey was here last week and brought me some props. So here's what they look like. If you guys have not seen them, they got tall boys for $1.79.
I love it.
You can get these. Let me see. What did he say? I've heard of the jukebox, but I haven't been there. I'll look into it. And I do
perform for white people too.
Yeah, he does. But just talk about Outlaw Beer here real quick. If you guys want to get some in the running for some free beer, what you're going to do is you're going to go find Outlaw, take a picture with Outlaw, tag Redline Radio, tag Redline Network, tell them that we sent you. You guys can get this at Sheets. You guys can get it at Drug Mart, Walmart. I do believe that the Texas Roadhouse that is right in the plaza over here down from the mall has it on tap. So make sure you guys check that out. And Lex, if you're a beer drinker, I know you're not, but if we can work something out, maybe I can get a hold of Corey and we can give out some free beer at the next event on September the 4th. Let me know if that's something that you would want to do. I'll hook up with Corey, maybe bring them with me, and we'll give out some free beer for some people that want to have it or taste it or whatever. But that's just Outlaw Light. Also, Doghouse Bar and Grill. Make sure you guys check them out. 114 Antioch Drive. Tell them Redline Radio sent you. Use that hashtag Redline Radio LLC and you'll get 10% off. Also, the best barbecue in Cleveland and Lorain County is Jones Bones Barbecue. Listen, I'm telling you right now, D's, if you ever get an opportunity to come here and get the loaded nachos, you have to try them. That and the sloppy toppy. I'm telling you, that's the best that I've ever had. And I'm not just saying that because they are sponsors. They're not only sponsors, they're family. I love Krista and Brian. Make sure you guys go check them out. They are at 15035 Royalton Road in Eaton. With Eaton is one side of the road, Grafton's the other side. Make sure you guys go check them out. Tell them that we sent you over at Redline.
Yes. Yeah, that's like the opposite of street cred.
Yes. But again, Lex does a fantastic job on what he does. And Great Lakes Ground Management, who is a big sponsor of the station. Make sure you guys check them out. You guys need any mulch laid. We've probably already laid 210 yards of mulch, and we probably got another 30 yards to go to finish up the project we're on right now. Great Lakes Ground Management, they're located in Sheffield, Ohio. Make sure you check them out. Give them a call today. We do it all. Cut down trees, trim bushes, lay mulch, cut grass, anything you need, they do it over there. So make sure you guys check them out. Tell them a Redline Radio sent you, Redline Network, and they'll take great care of you.
Now, going back to the first few minutes of the show. So you're in this mall, right?
Uh-huh.
That's where the new studio is. And
Correct.
One of these days I want to get out there and check it out. But I do have to ask if it's anything like the mall situation here. Like, is it just walkers, or like do they actually, like, is there a lot of actual stores still in the place? Or
well, that's a very good question, D. So there's a total with me in here of 9 stores that are in the mall. There's one fast or food place, and it's the Teriyaki, and it's always busy. At 11 o'clock, there'll be a line out there for people to get into the door to get Teriyaki. Yesterday when I left here, I think it was like 5:45, 6:15, I left here. There was a line all the way back to the aisle for people waiting to get teriyaki, because they know that they shut down at 7 o'clock and they quit serving and cooking at 6:45 for people. So, and they lock the doors at 7. Nobody's allowed to be here after. But to answer your question, Dees, is just really mall walkers and people who really have to come to the store to buy things. Like there's a shoe store here. There's a VIP Sports, which sells all like urban stuff. There's a lot of people that go there. There's a Wigland, which sells a lot of wigs. That obviously it speaks for itself, the name. Lens Crafters. There's a nail place. What else is here? There's a playland for the kids, but I don't ever see any kids play on that. But 90% of the traffic that is here is the walkers. But listen, it's not about that, D's. For me, it's about just having a studio feeling, coming here to get away from everyday life and just sitting here and looking around and seeing what you have. And I'm happy that what I have and the opportunity that I've got to be inside this mall, whether there's just me here or other people here in the studio. I'm okay with it
Yeah,
because
no, that wasn't like a dig or anything.
no,
It's
no,
just,
no, no, no. I
yeah,
know.
we're in the same boat. The town, we talk about me living in the cornfields. I do basically. My town has like 1,200 people, but I'm 10 minutes away from Bloomington Normal, which is where Illinois State University is. It's where State Farm is headquartered. We have a Rivian plant. Like it's 100 and the two cities combined is like 120, 130,000, something like that. But there's a mall called Eastland Mall. And growing up in Bloomington, like that was the place. You grab a couple quarters because that's all it cost to ride the bus back then. And you ride down, check out the arcade and walk around and raise hell like kids do. But over the years, it has declined significantly. And as of right now, it is still there. And there are a lot of mall walkers, but like they have a Kohl's.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot they got a Dick's here too. I forgot about that.
The
Dick's
we
is
have
the
a
main
Dick's,
store.
but it's a standalone store, not at the mall. But I think Kohl's is the only anchor left. There used to be like Bergner's and J.C. Penney and Von Mauer, and then all your, traditional little, Journeys and Payless and MC Sporting Goods, things like that. I think there's more than 9 stores at our mall, but not many. But it's just you can blame a lot of that on the whole online shopping thing. What's up, George?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
What's up? What's up, George? Hopefully you're having a good morning. Hopefully Kelly's doing all right. I see Bryce is out there putting his name into the Major League Baseball draft with him doing so good pitching and stuff. So proud of that kid. I'm gonna have to come out and watch him either play or whatever, but I'll get out there. But how you doing today, George?
Well, I got to finally sleep in because the baseball tournament was actually in Indianapolis this weekend. We just couldn't swing that. So to be able to sleep in till 9:30, I think, was nice.
Was it on the north side of Indianapolis?
Yes, I believe so.
And yeah,
it's a Marucci wood bat tournament.
Yeah, there's a huge baseball softball complex on the northern side of it. I used to live in Indianapolis, so my cousin actually played high school ball, and they had a big tournament there one year. Hell, it's probably the same fucking tournament. This is about the right time, so it's probably something they do every year. But yeah, just a massive complex up there. But that's cool.
Yeah. Well, speaking of baseball, George and Dee's, let me ask you this: what did you guys think of the home run derby?
That was during the week and did not start until 7 o'clock. So I was asleep.
I was gonna
Cardinal won it, which fuck the Cardinals because I'm a Cub fan, but
I was gonna say I totally missed out myself. I was just like, work's a little nuts right now. I'm starting back earlier again, so it's like, yeah, I was just like, okay, made dinner and just crashed out. So I missed that. I missed the All-Star game. It's been a long week.
I do like what they're doing with the home run derby. I mean, they've made it this whole spectacle now. Like it gives you something else to do other than the All-Star game. Yes. It used to be just kind of a, throwaway kind of thing, but now hell, they're filling that stadium up. Mm-hmm. And some of the bigger stars are still competing in it, which, unlike the dunk competition where it's usually a bunch of guys you've never heard of who can just jump high.
Yeah. Or G League players.
Yeah. They're making it worth watching there, and they tweak it every year to make it a little more exciting. I did see, on Twitter, the replay of that final at bat. I don't even remember what the kid's name is, the Cardinals' second-year player. But talk about getting hot. Like he was down to his last out, and he hit like 6 in a row.
Yeah, 6 in a row
to beat Schwarber, who I would have pulled for just because the Cubs ties there. But
Yeah, I was gonna ask you that, how you feel about Kyle Schwarber after.
I love him. Like, I didn't want him when they started to tear that team apart. He was one of the ones that I hoped that they hung on to, but they blew the whole damn thing up. And like back then, the jury was still kind of out on Schwarber. He had a couple of injuries. Didn't know if he was just going to be, a power hitter only and never really developed to play the field kind of thing. And when you look at that team and what they did, and you look at the guys that were on that team, he's basically all that's left, other than Javi Baez occasionally pops on the box scores for doing something, but nothing like what he was doing, in 2015, 2016. But
yeah, and Bryant, the first baseman, he signed with the
Rockies.
The Rockies, and he's not even in the league anymore, is he?
I think so, but he can't stay on the field. Like, he's got, I don't know if it's a degenerative back issue or whatever, but like he can't stay healthy. He has been banged up. Like, of all the people that they let go, is like he was the one that they let go at the right time, because ever since he left here, he has struggled with injuries and consistency. Rizzo was older, but he still managed to have a pretty good career after the Cubs, won a World Series.
I was going to ask you that. Didn't he win a World Series with the Yankees after that?
Yeah.
So he left in free agency the year after they won, and then won a couple of years later, right? Like 2 years later?
2 or 3. I can't remember the exact length of time, but yeah, like I said, within 3 years of that World Series, like I think Ian Happ was one of the very few that was still left that was literally on the roster in 2016. And Ian Happ's still there. But yeah, they're starting to get it together. I don't know. I think it might be not enough this year, but they've got some quality on that team. I think they need to do a little bit more with their pitching before they even think about catching up with a team like the Dodgers. But
yeah, who's going to catch up with the Dodgers, man? Nobody.
No,
you see that lineup?
Not the way they're spending money. I mean, fuck, when you defer contracts, like, you can literally do whatever the hell you want.
I think I read, it was either read or seen on Facebook, that their payroll is $750 billion, and they're worth like $750 billion.
Yeah,
I think, because what is Shohei making? He's making like 500 million, right? Isn't that what he signed a contract for? Like 500 million?
Might even be more than that. But again, it's deferred. So Shohei is going to make money on the contract for several years after he's out of baseball.
So like Bobby Bonilla is.
Yeah. Not quite to the scale of Bobby Bonilla. That motherfucker got 30 years of paychecks for not playing ball, but that's basically what teams are starting to do. Teams with money, and a team like the Dodgers, LA doesn't give a shit about football. It is what it is. If the Rams start to suck, nobody's going to care about the Rams anymore. Kind of like the Chargers, but they do pull for baseball, and they obviously pull for Lakers because it's the Lakers. So they always know that revenue is going to be there. And with no salary cap, they can sit here and say, okay, we're going to give you the $600 million contract, but we're going to pay you $300 million of it 10 years down the road, in increments. And baseball's got to change that. And that's one of the things that, I'm not a huge fan of salary caps, but there's got to be something that will even it up. You look at, a team like Pittsburgh, who I know has an absolute horrible owner, probably the worst owner in sports, who won't pay people anyway. But, they're sitting there. I think their payroll, they might have went over 100 million this year for the first time in a long time, but it's still like way, way, way below the league average. You just can't compete.
Well, let's just be thankful that this is the last year of the Guardians ownership with the Dolans, because the new owners take over. George is spraying.
Thank you. It's about time.
Yeah, George, how does that work? Do they sold all the majority ownership to the new owners? Because I heard something about that they're still going to be like 10% owners or something, or no?
Yeah, they've basically flipping down to a minority ownership, and when you do that, it's like, hey, bye. It's like, thank you. Now let's see somebody who knows what the hell they're doing and teach and show them how it should have been done the whole time.
Who is the new ownership group? Do you know, George, off the top of your head?
Don't know off the top of my head. Like I said, this weekend it's we've got a kind of a full day today. I know I'm not going to be on too long because taking the family to go see the Odyssey movie. Bryce actually did a report on it. It's a Greek mythology thing, and he actually did a report on it in school this early this spring. And he said they were making this movie, and he's like, "We got to go see this movie." So I'm like, "Hey, me being Greek, I'm like, I'm in."
It's Christopher Nolan.
And that's the best part about it, Deez.
Yeah,
it's Nolan doing it. I'm like,
yeah, he don't miss.
I can't wait. And the star lineup on this thing is I've been hearing. I watched ET last night, and I'm sitting there going, "Holy crap! I didn't know all these people were in this movie. This ought to be something else."
Did you know Cleveland had the lowest payroll in the MLB? I'm looking at it right now.
Oh, they've had it for the last 4 years.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What I was going to say, I'm shocked. I'm shocked that it hasn't been for the last
$74.4 million is their payroll. And the leader, the highest payroll this season is actually not the Dodgers. Dodgers come in at $301 million. The leader is the Mets at 41 and 57. The Mets are paying out $328.6 million this year.
Listen, I heard something about the Mets about trying to blow it up. And George, let me ask you this question. Would you be interested as a Guardians fan to take Frankie Lindor back and get that $30 million contract that he's got per year on your books?
Do you see this little jersey?
Yeah. That's why.
You bet your ass I would.
I mean, but
just because of the veteran leadership that is needed to help the team, I would go that route. Yes. And I know he could still play, but to have that veteran leadership and and helping the other guys along, he's got that. And that's what I want. And that's totally what I want. Yeah, I would do it. I would do it in a second. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because they do need a bat at the deadline, and you know what the Dolans are going to say. Well, we're getting Angel Martinez back, and we're getting Jose Ramirez back, and that's like adding a bat to the lineup. No, it's not.
No,
thank God this ownership group for the Guardians is done after the end of this year. And my brother will go to bat for the Guardians, and he's a big baseball fan, and he'll say, "Well, look how good they're doing with the least amount of money spent in Major League Baseball. They're not going to win a World Series when they don't have a good batting average throughout the regular season. And you got 3 people that you start that are batting less than 190 in your lineup each and every day. 3 starters. Yeah, you got a good pitching staff. Does pitching win baseball? 70% of the time. Wow. But you also got to put up runs to win baseball games. And if you can't establish runs by hitting a home run or getting on base or hitting doubles and driving in runs, then you can't win baseball games. And my brother would be like, "Well, the playoffs is a totally different beast." You're right. Look what happened to him against Detroit. Terrence Skubal took them to school because they didn't have no power bats.
And it sucks.
It does. And people got to stop looking at it that way where, they're still spending money or they're not spending money, but they've won. You're just pumping a Dolan's head by saying that. Go get a bat, go get a player. I know you have Jose. Jose's took a discount. Quan has fell off the face of the earth. Right now, I would say this. I would say you would have to trade Quan. What's he batting like? 216, and he fell from the leadoff position down to bat like 9th or 8th or 9th, right? Isn't he batting that low in the lineup? And he's still not hitting the ball the proper way. You might need to get rid of him. What options do you have left for David Fry, too? Like, you got these players that are coming back again. Angel Martinez. You got Ramirez coming back. Somebody's going to be the odd man out. Somebody's going to have to be the odd man out. And the Guardians, right now, if I was the Dolans, this is our last hoorah. Let's try to go out and win this thing the second half of the season. But George, just as well as I do, they're not going to do that.
Yeah, it's the Dolans. They never do that crap. No. It's like, the fans outside of, I think, the 4th of July weekend where it was packed that night. I mean, I'd love to see what the average attendance has been for this year.
He owns the Cavs too, right? That's
No.
Dolan.
If Dan owned the baseball, yeah, we'd be doing much better.
I'm thinking of the Dolan that owns the New York Knicks.
David Blitzer and Travis Kelce is the majority, and Travis Kelce is minority. Yeah. David Blitzer. Didn't he own the Clippers? Wasn't he the one that got in trouble for the sexual harassment and stuff, and then sold the team to Steve Ballmer? Is that the same?
Swift, thank you very much.
Is that the same guy, or didn't he own a baseball team or something like that? I think he did, or he was minority owner somewhere.
No idea.
New Jersey Devils hockey team and the 76ers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he was the one that George, wasn't he a couple years ago that he say some race?
He's the first person to own equity in the 5 major professional sports leagues of the United States. Wow. Because he's got the Devils, the Sixers, the Guardians, the Commanders.
So he's part of the Josh Smith team that owns the Commanders
and the Philadelphia WNBA team as well.
George, he's part of the ownership group with the Commanders with Josh Smith and all them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's impressive. It says here he also has one of the soccer teams, the MLS soccer team too.
But is there anything bad that's coming up with him, George? Nope. Because I remember.
No, it's not him.
Somebody getting in trouble, and I thought his name was David Blitzer about a racist comment. What was the dude's name that owned the Clippers?
Oh, that's oh God, old white dude. What the fuck was his name?
Donald Sterling.
There you go.
Donald Sterling.
That's it. I don't know why
I was gonna say, hey now.
He was basically talking, wasn't it? Like he was talking shit to his way too young mistress, and she recorded him where he was talking about some of the black guys on his team, and she released the recording, and he doesn't own the team anymore.
Yeah, that's why Steve Ballmer owns it and built that brand new stadium out there on the property. Now, I just found this out. This is kind of a cool thing. So he bought the property that the old Los Angeles Lakers Forum sat on. He bought that property and built that state-of-the-art stadium out there in Los Angeles. So that's kind of a cool fact right there. And
so they're not going to play at the same place anymore?
No, the Lakers play at the Staples Center, which is down the road from where they used to be, where the Forum was.
Right.
And they shared the Staples Center between the Clippers and the Lakers, but the Clippers built their own arena, and Ballmer, I think, paid for it all, but he bought the property or the parking lot of the Forum.
The old LA Forum.
Yeah, and built it there. And if you guys haven't seen that, go look at it. It'll give you the inside tour, because he's very proud of it, like Jerry Jones is with Jerry's World.
I mean, let's talk about the most exciting thing to happen in a long time, that the World Cup. I'm kidding. Fuck soccer. It's NFL training camp season, boys.
Yeah, I haven't watched one lick of soccer
No.
for the World Cup. I mean,
No.
my nephew, he's big into it, but I haven't watched anything with soccer. Not
Look,
the highlights, not nothing.
U.S. soccer is never going to be a dominant force. It's just not. You know, we might have a couple of decent teams here and there and make a couple but soccer ain't it here. Not when kids growing up today have a basketball hoop on every fucking corner. They've got baseball diamonds. Football is as big as it is. It's just not going to happen. You know, again, we'll have good teams that raise everybody's hopes. And I'm proud that, you know, America's putting on a good showing as far as the hosting and everything. But, you know, everybody that, oh, let's watch Team USA tonight, you don't hear them anymore because Team USA's out. So they did their patriotic duty, and now nobody gives a fuck other than diehard soccer fans. You know, I would rather watch the fucking Hall of Fame game if it were on Sunday than the World Cup final.
That's awesome. You mean you'd watch the USFL championship game? Or what? Yeah.
I'd watch the Illinois State High School Athletic Association championship game before I would watch Spain versus Argentina. That's just, and that's why USA will never be a soccer country.
No, I thought it was funny when they said that Boston ran out of beer. I was like, who the hell drunk them out of beer, man?
The fucking Scots. Really?
The Scots took out the bar. I was like, wow.
Yeah, that was like week one.
That's hysterical.
Yeah. I mean, I ain't followed soccer. I know some names and that's it. But other than that, I don't watch it. Don't follow it. Sorry. I just don't get into it. But real quick,
Mike, all I know is that Messi is on Argentina, so me not knowing shit about anything else of those two teams, you know, Messi seems to be the best soccer player that ever walked the land, so I would say him. But I don't know shit about either one of the teams. So if you are making a wager based off of my opinion, you're doing the wrong fucking thing.
I mean, these I got to go with you. I agree 100%. Messi all the way, unless it's the U.S. If the U.S. gets into the finals, then obviously I'm picking the U.S. So
yeah, and that's only because I watch every day. I watch the Pat McAfee show. That literally my entire wealth of this year's World Cup knowledge comes from whenever they talk about it, and even then, I'm only half-ass listening because soccer is so fucking boring. Like, oh my, it's just track with an occasional ball in the camera.
Want to give a big shout out to Sandy real quick. Michael, the Red Line Radio intern, thank you for watching and tuning in and commenting. Gene, appreciate you. Thank you for watching and tuning in. But real quick, Deez and George, and I'll get your guys' opinion on this. Are you guys freaking tired of waiting for LeBron's decision on where he's going to go? Are you tired of it?
Who?
I mean, I don't care. Like, they got to have something to talk about because, again, this is what is known as the black hole of American sports. There's just not much going on. You know, I mean, obviously the World Cup throws a little bit of fuel on that fire, but not much because America's out now. But football is just getting ready to start. Basketball and hockey are over. Baseball is at the break, you know, in the dog days when, let's be honest, nobody really gives a fuck right now because they still got a whole half a season to go. So they need things to talk about, you know, and it kind of falls into that dead space. After next week, there's a lot of people that don't give a fuck about LeBron James because they're going to be watching training camp reports from their favorite team.
Yeah, Sandy brings up a good point. Who cares about his decision, and why is the whole league waiting on his decision to do a schedule? That's a very good question because David Silver came out this week, said that he would like LeBron to make the decision because exactly, Deez. It's all about the money because he wants to find out where LeBron's going to play out so they can make their schedule. It's just basically holding the whole league hostage for his decision. If you're going to go back to the Cavs, go back to the Cavs. If you're going to go to Philly, go to Philly. If you're going to go to Golden State, just announce it and be done with it. I know it's a tough decision, but here's my look on that. Real quick, 1 minute, and I'll be done with it. LeBron, if you decide to go to Golden State, to me, that tarnishes your reputation and the championship that you brought to Cleveland, because now you're going to go team up with the same people you went to war with against 4 straight years in a row. Yes, I know it's older. Yes, I know it's 10 years past that. But again, Jordan or Kobe would never do anything like that. And you're going to be compared to them 2 players your whole career. So if you're going to go to Philly, that's a good spot. All I want you to do is not go to Golden State. Anywhere but Golden State. Would I like to see it with the Cavs? Absolutely. Do I think it's going to happen? There's a 70% chance it's going to happen. Does he go to Miami? There's a 50% chance. Does he go to Philly? There's probably a 30% chance. But please just don't go to Golden State, and that's all I got to say about LeBron. Wherever you go, just make the decision so everybody can make their schedule. And because obviously the Cavs haven't made any moves, neither is the Warriors. Just make your decision and be done with it.
I'll piggyback off of that with a couple of things. First off, the people, and I'm not picking on anybody, Sandy, whatever, that him not making a decision and the NBA not releasing the schedule should not be a thing. NBA, do your fucking job. Release the schedule the way you're supposed to release the schedule. LeBron is not going to make or break your financial year as far as
yes, he will. Yes, he will. Yeah, because if he's going to Golden State, people are going to want to tune in that. And I guarantee I will put it. It'll probably be one of 3 teams. If he goes to Golden State, he'll probably either play the Cavaliers, either the Lakers, or he'll play the Heat on Christmas Day.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But you're talking about a handful of games. And what I'm saying basically is that for the NBA to make that decision and say, we're not going to do a schedule till we know who he's playing because we want ratings on Christmas and New Year's and, basically a handful of games. I'm sorry, but that's fucking wrong. Make your fucking schedule, make your bed and sleep in it.
But the problem is that the NBA is trying to be the NFL.
Yeah, and they won't.
This clearly is mimicking the Aaron Rodgers thing. Let's put it out how it is. This is being like the Aaron Rodgers thing, and it's just like trailing along because it keeps that league relevant. And the NFL was relevant during that whole wait up until, even through draft, and then they didn't have to worry about it then after draft.
But they didn't withhold making the schedule solely for that.
They did not, but this is the NBA's way of still trying to be relevant and being in that sports news because they know, like the NHL right now, it's like, well, they had their draft and it's like nobody gives a damn until October. They could care less. Nobody's even breathing those 3 letters out at all unless some weird, somebody runs into a car accident or something, which, hockey players don't do that because they're a little smarter. So this is the NBA's way of trying to stay relevant on the ESPN news ticker to turn around and keep themselves as part of one of the major sports leagues, thriving and, trying to get to be that number 2 behind the NFL. And it's a piss poor example of it though.
And I'll actually have a little bit more respect for LeBron if he goes to Cleveland, because it'll be the first time since he took his talents to South Beach that he didn't jump from super team to super team trying to chase the title, only to usually fail.
Yeah.
I mean, for one way or another.
And listen, he's only won 1 championship since he left Cleveland this last time. And we know that the bubble championship, some people consider that as not even a championship. Some people consider that. That's the most tainted championship of all time. And the greatest championship of all time, people may not agree with me or not, is 2016 when they were down 3-1. That's the greatest championship ever in sports. ever. But the worst championship ever in sports is the bubble championship with the Lakers. That's my opinion. You're not going to change it, and that's what I believe in. But again, LeBron, just make your decision. If you're coming to the Cavs, come to the Cavs. If you're going to the Sixers, go to the Sixers. If you're going to the Heat, go to the Heat. Stay away from Golden State. I don't get it going to play with your buddies. I mean, I get it, Draymond, but your best friend, Brandon Weems, is the assistant general manager of the Cavaliers. The Cavs don't even have a general manager right now. They're waiting for LeBron's decision in order to make moves. If I'm the Cavs, and I fault the Cavs at this, why are you waiting for LeBron to make his choice when you got rid of 3 people that you need to fill a depth chart on and roster?
Again, I think this is the NBA's doing because they, like Dee said, this is the slowest damn week in sports every single year. So you've got to keep the audience at bay, and that's what they're waiting for. I think Monday, between Sunday and Monday, I think the hammer finally falls. And because they know that, okay, the rest of the sports world is going to be ticking back up. So they've got to, hey, launch off the week with something. You couldn't do it against you're not going to do it against the home run derby. You're not going to do it during the All-Star, and nobody gives a damn Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. The weekend is here, but Monday, yeah, something tells me Monday the hammer's dropping, and then all the details will be able to be, it's like, oh, okay, this is what everything is, and this is what all the details are, and it's like everybody's, on a mum's the word, you can't say nothing until, hey, we're going to drop the hammer down. I mean, and LeBron's agent is literally teasing it out just in little bits and pieces. And it's like, dude, okay, now you're just starting to piss people off. But it's just like the NBA is like, no, just wait. And it's, it's like, NBA, you guys are pathetic.
You guys, George, do you think, real quick, Dees, do you think LeBron already knows where he's going?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
oh,
I do.
I think he knew a month ago. I think he knew.
Yeah,
heck, months. I'll say months ago when he knew he was leaving and calling it a day in LA.
When he told the Lakers to move on, he had a team on his mind. That's not to say that he couldn't have been swayed one way or another, but I think that his decision was pretty much all but set in stone. And it's just, we'll probably never know if it wavered one way or another, but I think it's a done deal. Wherever he was going to go, I think he was just kind of sitting back and letting whatever team do, whatever they had to do to kiss his ass and tell him we're going to get this guy, get that guy, blah, blah, blah. But I think he was leaning one way from Jump Street when he told the Lakers to move on.
Well, and because he also wants a minority ownership, and that's one of the big things is he's never kept that a secret. He said when he's going to retire off, that's what he wants is he wants a minority ownership.
Let me ask you this, George. If you're Dan Gilbert and he comes back to the Cavaliers, and Dan is on probably the backside of owning the basketball team because he's getting older and he's got a lot more things that he's doing with Rock Entertainment, all that. Do you think if LeBron comes back to Cleveland, if he comes back, do you think Dan might throw some ownership towards him?
He said he would. Oh, he said he would.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. He said he would. He said he would back in 2016. He said if LeBron had interest, he would definitely sit down with him and they would do it. Oh, yeah. He said he would. So, and I think that's the one thing that's always been in the back of LeBron's mind is, hey, I know that offer is still on the table. I know that's always going to be there. So, yes, because I think no matter what has always happened and transpired, the relationship between him and Gilbert has always been solid behind closed doors. That thing's better. I think that thing's probably stronger than Tom Brady and Robert Kraft.
I hope he goes to Cleveland because I believe that LeBron and Harden in the playoffs and watching that epic fucking failure collapse is going to be must-see TV.
These, I I wouldn't count your hens before they're hatched with Harden, because I think the Cavs got a deal in place. If LeBron comes there, there's a lot of smoke around Kyrie Irving coming back to the Cavs, and where there's smoke, there's fire. People may not believe that, but let me tell you,
who's going to take that contract?
The Cavs.
The Cavs will.
No,
the Cavs will.
You're saying that they're going to pay Harden to ship him off? That's what you're saying?
They'll pay him 2 years, $60 million, which is what Kyrie has
not
left
play.
To go to Dallas. They're going to trade Dallas to do a sign. This is what the talk is. They're going to sign Harden, 2 years, $60 million, trade him to compensate for the Kyrie Irving contract, bring Kyrie back at $30 million, team LeBron and Kyrie back up. And there's also talk of Kevin Love coming back on a minimum contract.
For fuck's sake.
Dude, listen.
I didn't hear about Love, but I did hear about the Kyrie thing.
George,
and,
I'll say
trades. The sign-in trades are not, unpopular at all. But I think there was a third team involved in that too, Dave.
Yeah.
I believe there was a third team involved in that.
Kevin Love's still in the fucking league?
Yeah, he's 36 years old. He played with Utah last year. He actually averaged 9 points and 7 rebounds in 70 games that he played. He actually was still there. So,
Tonight's Cavaliers broadcast brought to you by Geritol and Depends.
Obviously, Kevin Love wouldn't start. He'd come off the bench, play like a Tristan Thompson role, a little comfortability for LeBron. And the story would be, if they get Kyrie, it'd be unfinished business with him and Kyrie in Cleveland, because they should have won other championships and they didn't. And that's what it would be. But yes, would I love to see LeBron back in Cleveland? Absolutely, because it's good for the city. It's good for the Cavaliers. And listen, there was talk with the LeBron thing, there's people saying, oh, well, he's going to sign a 1-year deal somewhere and then finish his career next year, the following year with the Cavaliers. Right now is your best opportunity to be with the Cavaliers on a 2-year deal, because their window is shrinking to win a championship. And if you're LeBron, people say him go to the Philly is an automatic way for him to go to the finals. Nothing is guaranteed in the league. Nothing. Embiid can't stay healthy.
Yeah.
No. If you're LeBron James, there's literally at this point no reason to play if you're not chasing a title. Like, if you don't legitimately think that you have a chance to win a championship, all you're doing is fucking tainting your legacy. That's already hotly debated when you're talking about the greatest of all time, especially between the two generations, because you got, my generation and probably a little bit of the generation below that are on, the Michael Kobe side. And then you've got all the young kids that don't know shit that are on the LeBron side, and not chasing a title to me is just a tarnish to your legacy. And don't get me wrong, LeBron is by far one of the greatest basketball players to ever play.
Okay.
He could have played in that era back then. But if Michael played, here's the biggest difference. If Michael played today, Michael would average 50.
I said this. I said that, and people laughed at me. People laughed at me when I said Michael could average 50. You're like, there's no way. Look at how the three-point game has changed the sport right now. Michael averaged 32 points a game. You mean to tell me he couldn't hit 6 more threes in a game to average 50 points?
He'd get 30 points on free throws.
They don't play defense as hard as what they used to.
You can't touch them.
Deez, I am so glad that you said that, because I had an argument with my barber about this. He said that Jordan is too soft in this era. How's he too soft? They don't play defense. Jordan said so.
Yeah, it's like the NFL. You're not allowed to play defense.
I tell you what, you just put together a YouTube video of Michael playing against the Detroit Pistons and tell me Michael was too soft. They fucking assaulted that man every game.
I lived in Detroit during that time, and they abused him like a redheaded stepchild.
The reason that Michael went from, a 200-pound nothing to a 225-pound chiseled fucking maniac was because he had to in order to put up with the beating that he was getting from Detroit, who they played almost every year in the playoffs and division. So they played him, another 8-10 times a year. Like they beat the shit out of Michael Jordan. Like
they did.
To say that he wasn't physical enough, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. And I've never really asked either one of you this, and I'm going to start with George. George, in your opinion, and remember, people who are watching this is just George's opinion. Who is the greatest basketball player of all time that you've ever seen?
Because I lived through it. Of course, it's going to be Michael. Kobe is the very strong second with LeBron at 3. Because it has to, no matter what anybody says. I mean, and you need to even throw Wilt and Bill on that list, pre my living, because I know that those two gentlemen, by seeing stats and seeing film on how great those guys were in their era of play and how the game evolved, I'm like, you're going to have the greatest of all time pending by those eras. We've had that discussion before. Yeah. So, and it resonated through football. We had that argument many, many times on, it's like, hey, that's the greatest of all time. Well, every lifetime keeps saying, well, this is the GOAT now. This is the GOAT now. This is the GOAT now. This is the GOAT. We're always going to be saying, this is the GOAT now. No matter what, as long as time evolves, we're always going to have that conversation. But to be honest, LeBron could probably hold his own back in those late 80s and 90s.
Absolutely, he could.
He would. Kobe would definitely be able to. They would be the only two guys, I think, to be able to handle it. Do I think Steph Curry could? No.
He'd get killed.
No. Steph would have gotten abused and would have been bounced in 2 years.
Yeah.
There's no way. Anthony Davis? No.
Anthony Davis isn't strong enough to play in today's fucking NBA, let alone back then.
George, you just mentioned his name and he got injured.
Yeah. Yeah, he's out for 6 weeks with hurt feelings.
Oh, poor baby.
Look,
I mean, as much as it pains me to say crybaby Jordan, he is still the best person and one of the greatest players, because the other thing that nobody really remembers is if it wasn't for Michael doing what he did, how relevant would the NBA really have been to bring in Kobe or LeBron?
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad that you said that.
I was going to say, look at that. I mean, I haven't seen that Nike movie yet at all, but I am intrigued to see it. I've seen the Jordan movie as well. But like I said, if it wasn't for Michael, if it wasn't for what he did, and then how he brought the whole, hey, let's do a marketing thing as well, that helped boost the NBA and its popularity. If it wasn't for that, the NBA would be underneath hockey right now.
Magic and Larry, I would say, started it for sure.
Yep.
Because they had the rivalry coming out of college,
but
they carried it. Right, they carried it for a little while, and then Michael, I mean, he took it from like a 6 to a fucking 12. Like, he literally took it over. And I agree with you. When I'm talking about greats of all time, to me, it's Michael, period. Mm-hmm. And then it's Kobe. And then LeBron. Now, granted, there are things that LeBron does that Michael and Kobe weren't great at.
Sure.
But nobody in the NBA, in the history of the NBA, had that killer fucking instinct the way Michael and even Kobe. Because, like, you can sit there and you can pull up old clips of Michael and you can find almost identical clips. Like, those two were one and the same. I give Michael the slight edge. LeBron never had that just absolute killer instinct.
And then when you're fucking hitting the nail right on the head. You are hitting it right on the head.
Men, as much as I respect Wilt and Bill Russell, that was like, they were it. There really wasn't anybody else. George Mikan was tough, but he wasn't on their level.
Shaq.
Well, no, let me get to that. So you got Wilt and Bill are right there, but above them, to me, tied as far as best big man ever is Kareem and Shaq. I don't think either one of those guys could stop the other, because Kareem would hit that sky hook whenever he wanted to, and Shaq would fucking take Kareem to the basket, back him down, and dunk on his big bald head anytime he wanted to. They were equally great in their own way. And then you got Bill and Wilt right below them, but like any center today, Shaq would fucking destroy in his prime. You know, and so would Kareem for that matter. Nobody in today's NBA, as far as a big man, could stop Kareem with the sky hook. They just couldn't. You know?
And the game has revolutionized so much over the last 15, 20 years. And you know who is a very underrated player that it never gets any credit for the way that he shot the 3-point ball? And George, you may not agree with me because you weren't a Cavs fan at this time, but Mark Price was Steph Curry before Steph Curry was Steph Curry.
Yeah. 1,000%. Oh, 1,000%. And right behind him was Terrell Brandon.
Yeah.
And he was a very underrated player.
And here's another thing about the Michael Jordan topic. For you, Michael Jordan, to walk into the Olympics and tell Chuck Daly, I'm not playing if Isaiah's playing.
Yeah.
That tells you who has the stroke. He had the stroke. And that was
according to Michael, he didn't say that, but we all know that he did.
George, you know, I know.
That's D's. Hey, come on, get it right.
I'm saying, George, you living in Detroit, you know that you've heard that multiple times, that he was the reason why Isaiah wasn't on there. And Isaiah kind of said it in his interview that he heard from other players that Michael went to Chuck Daly and said, if Isaiah's playing, I'm not playing.
Look, it's just like Michael's baseball career. All right. Everybody knows that it was actually look, we know you're gambling. We got to suspend you, but we're not going to suspend you. You're going to retire.
Go play baseball. Go play. Like
it's one of those untold things that like everybody pretty much knows is the fact, but nobody will ever admit it. And look, it gave Houston 2 championships, because if Michael doesn't get suspended,
they won 8.
They won 8 in a row. It's not
8
even close. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, just like for perfect example of like why I think Mike's the greatest. Mike comes back. Where's number 45? Second game back against the Knicks, he scores 55. All right. He gets the ball stolen from him by, I believe it was Nick Anderson of the Orlando Magic in the playoffs.
Here's the story.
I can't remember who they asked. I don't think it was Nick Anderson. Maybe it was Nick Anderson.
It was Dennis Scott.
But they said Scott. They said 23 is not 45. And the next game, or 45 is not 23. Yeah. And the next game, that motherfucker comes out 23 and scores like 52 points. I mean, they still lost that series because they needed a couple more pieces. But yeah, like Mike, you can scroll TikTok for 2 hours watching nothing but stories of guys from that era talking about how either they or somebody they played with said one thing that flipped that switch, and then Michael fucking killed him.
Listen,
look up Kevin Garnett's story with I think it's J.R. Ryder, that they were talking shit with Minnesota, and Kevin Garnett was a rookie. He's like, keep killing this man, kill him. And then he said, we didn't score for like the next 6 minutes. Michael had 18. Now he's got 45. You know, we was just down 6. Now we down 27. Like that was Mike. Like you didn't piss off Jesus.
The other thing too was another story that was talked about. I think it was in the final, the Last Dance or whatever.
Hold on. I'm gonna borrow a quote from a famous streamer that is literally making millions right now called the Burnt Peanut. And I know that you're not going to do this, Dave, because I know who he is, but ban that motherfucker right now.
Yeah, no kidding.
Dude, how do you not know Michael Jordan played for the Bulls or the Wizards?
The Wizards I could understand, because look,
No. He's saying the baseball team. He said the baseball team.
Oh,
See the word baseball right here?
Shut up, George.
Okay, George.
He said
Michael
baseball.
got it. He played for the
forgiven.
Chicago White Sox minor league team, which was the Birmingham
Barons.
What were they? Barons. The Birmingham Barons. And
Michael, I apologize.
And Terry
You're
Francona.
welcome, Mike.
Terry Francona.
I was going to get in the car and drive to Elyria. I swear to God.
He was gonna. It would have been 8 hours or 9 hours, but he'd have been here. And Terry,
I don't need a place to stay. Watch this.
Terry Francona was his manager for that team. But anyway, let's get back to the story.
Hold up, guys. I got a jet. Thanks for letting me pop on. Appreciate it. Also wanted to show off my new toy. Yes, I am wireless now.
What brand is that?
This is a Mayano.
I like the sound quality.
Yeah, it's nice. Everybody said no more white noise. I'm like, yeah. And it will hold its charge for almost a good 24 hours. I use it for work all the time. And I said, this is like the best thing ever. I can set it anywhere on the desk, and no more boom arm, which is like, I mean, it's really odd not to have the boom arm anymore. But I mean, this thing's great. And I can just set it on the desktop or even set it on the shelf. It's been phenomenal. So
Amazon?
Yep. I highly recommend it. Yeah.
It sounds
45
really
bucks. It was like 45 bucks.
So George, let me give you a little bit word of advice. Since it's wireless, and when you do this show or any other show on the road when you're with Bryce, take that microphone with you and don't use your phone.
Yeah.
Put it on the dash of your fucking car.
1000%. Yeah. Oh, no doubt. It's like, link up. It's gonna sync right up to that sucker. Oh, you betcha. Yeah, that thing has been the best. I mean, the best. I'm very impressed with it.
Yeah, I'll look into that today, because I like the way this thing looks, but when I listen back to the show, I think I sound like shit.
Yeah, I was very pleased when I turned around and listened back to a couple of mine, and I was like, wow, that is so much better.
Yeah. Well, George, we appreciate you coming on, man. Have a good rest of your Saturday morning. Me and Dee's
probably
enjoy
your weekend.
Me and Dee's probably gonna wrap it up here in a few minutes, but we're gonna get back and talk on this Jordan thing. George, have a good rest of your Saturday.
You guys have a good weekend as well. Catch you
later.
Yep. But anyway, so getting back to the Jordan story, I can't remember where it was at, Dee's, where he walks in the locker room. Somebody had his shoes on, and he told them, no, you're going to take them shoes off because you don't have the same mentality that I do. I can't remember who he said that. Gilbert Arenas said that when he was with the Wizards, that somebody who he went against in practice was loafing in practice, and he was a jump man or a Jordan brand player that Jordan had signed, and he told them to take his shoes off and don't wear them. If you have that much stroke as a basketball player, and I do believe that I think it was the same person that says that you said about the Orlando Magic, D's, about, oh, you're talking to Black Jesus. That's who you're talking to.
Yeah. Well, that was like, it was a big story back when it happened, is that Jordan punched Steve Kerr in practice. Like that, for what you saw on the court on, when the game was going the way Mike was that way in practice. If you're not a Bulls fan, not a Jordan fan, whatever, I implore you to go and watch the 10-part Last Dance documentary on Netflix, because it doesn't just talk about that last season. It basically covers Mike's whole career. And for everything that you saw Mike on the court, that was Mike in practice. Like, nobody worked harder in practice than Mike. And that's why they built such a good team. That's, you talk about LeBron, jumping team to team, playing with, superstars, and people always clap back with, well, Jordan had Pippen. Jordan made Pippen. Okay. Scottie Pippen, yes, he was a talented kid, but he was an unknown from Central Arkansas. And if Scottie Pippen got drafted by the Celtics or the Pistons or whatever, he'd be Scott Pippen, forward from Central Arkansas. He wouldn't be Hall of Famer top 20 basketball. Yeah.
6-time champion Scottie Pippen.
Absolutely.
And just to throw that out there, Dees, Scottie Pippen did get drafted by the Seattle Supersonics and was traded on draft day for the people that don't know about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Michael made Scottie. Obviously Scottie was talented, but playing with Michael elevated that man. And
but to Scotty's defense, Michael needed him to take care of the best player on the team that they were going against, because Scotty was a defensive specialist.
Yeah, well, and so was Mike, but Mike couldn't do it on both ends.
Correct.
Yeah,
correct.
I agree 100%. Mike would not have won all those without Scotty, but it wasn't a situation where they joined up. Like Scotty, they
was drafted there. They went through battles together. They stuck with each other through thick and thin until the championships were over. And
they made each other better.
Yes, period. They also made their teammates better too, because listen, you had Bill Wennington, Will Perdue, Craig Hodges. I can keep going on and naming these people.
Steve Kerr, Jed Buechler, fucking BJ Armstrong, John Paxton,
Randy Brown, Dennis Rodman. That was a nutcase in itself for Jordan and Pippen to work together to make him who he was. He helped them win their other 3 championships.
Oh, without a doubt. Dennis Rodman, we hated his guts as a Bulls fan. Absolutely hated his guts. And when they was going to bring him in, I was like, I don't know, man. This dude's a fucking nutcase, until you watched him play. And for all the crazy shit that Dennis did off the court and sometimes on the court, between the whistles, there aren't too many people in the history of the NBA who played harder than Dennis Rodman.
He is the greatest rebounder of all time.
No, there's no question. No question. It's not even close. You're talking about a guy that was on a good day, 6'8", and he's pulling down damn near 20 boards a game for most of his career, often against some of the biggest, baddest centers in the history of the NBA. You're talking about Dennis Rodman, who played in the era of fucking Shaq, Olajuwon, Patrick Ewing, David Robinson, and he's grabbing boards over all of them.
And he's not doing that. He's getting in the heads of them.
Yes.
Taking them out of their mind. Look at what he did to Joe Klein. Look what he did to Alonzo Mourning. This dude went out and painted his fingernails and told Alonzo Mourning, hey, ain't my nails pretty? And that's what started the fight with them guys when they were battling with the Miami Heat. People don't realize he didn't just change it basketball-wise. He changed it mentally, too, because Rodman got in his head. When he first came out with the blonde hair or the bull in the back of his head, these people are looking at him like, is this dude crazy?
He was, but the man could play. You ask Shaq today, nobody gave Shaq more troubles defensively than 6'8", 200-pound Dennis Rodman. His leverage, his positioning, his timing, his ability to read where the ball was coming off. It was a gift, an absolute gift.
Yeah. And I'm glad you said that, because I did see an interview with Rodman about how he took the trajectory of the basketball off the rim and knew exactly where it was going to go. And he told Jordan and Pippen that, and they were like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, it was unbelievable the way he just knew where to be. And then if he couldn't, he out hustled you. If it was going to where he wasn't, he'd still get there first and sacrifice his body to make sure that he got a play on the ball. It was unreal.
Yeah. But hey, Dees, listen, a phenomenal show, man. We went for an hour and 18 minutes. It's just me and Dees, and George joined us. George, we appreciate you, but we're going to cut the show short. Again, let me give a big shout out to some of our sponsors. I forgot one. I just got a text message about it. Professional Touch LLC. They did all the work in the studio. It looks phenomenal. Also, Anna, thank you for cleaning the studio, making it look good each and every time you come in and clean it. Everybody who's helped out with this studio, the security guy, Mark, that lets me in when the mall's not open to come in here anytime I need to. Also, Dees, thank you for stepping up and producing. Everybody behind the scenes at Redline Radio, Redline Network, Outlaw Beer. Make sure you guys go get yourself a beer. But I was told by the people who drink the beer that it's much better when it's ice cold. So put it in the the refrigerator, put it in the cooler, get yourself a nice ice cold Outlaw beer. Go support Doghouse Bar and Grill in Elyria, not the one in Avon. I'm hearing some bad things about the one in Avon, but hey, listen, that's not for me to talk about. Go watch go look at their Facebook page. You're looking for any lawn maintenance, Great Lakes ground maintenance will take care of you all your needs. Poker, again, they're going to be doing a show tomorrow, Lake Erie Poker. Make sure you tell them that we sent you over here at Redline Radio. Also, Flips Dumpsters. You talk about getting a dumpster, D's. If they were local, I would have you
send one over.
Yeah, send one over. But listen, Chuck might do that for you depending on the cost and whatever. I don't know. I'll give you his number, let you talk to him, see if he wants to do that.
The fuel alone would break me.
But listen, Chuck's kind of a little weird guy, but he's a cool dude, so he might do that. Again, we appreciate everybody who's tuned in past and present. I'm looking forward to continuing to going on with whatever we're going to do here at Redline Radio. And we got some new shows that are coming. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to say this. Please support the ones who support you. Reach out to people who you haven't talked to in a while and just do something kind for somebody, man. Pay it forward. I know D's, some people come off like you're an asshole, but me and you've had stories off the air and you've done some things for me, which I appreciate, man. So just do things for people. Just do something positive for somebody today.
Don't get it twisted. I am, in fact, an asshole, but I'm an asshole you want on your side.
Absolutely. Absolutely. D's, anything you want to say in closing?
No, everybody have a good weekend. Stay cool. We're in the dog days now, but there's hope on the horizon because training camp for the NFL kicks off this week.
All right, there you have it. Word from D's. D's, send us away.
All right, folks. We will see you all next week. Next Saturday here on Unscripted, and also for our Steeler fans, Steel City Renegades returns next Sunday on.
And we have a big guest. We will have him on next week. D's. Yes, confirmed.
Super Bowl champion from the Pittsburgh Steelers will be with us next Sunday morning for Steel City Renegades. He's Dynamite Dave. I am D's. We appreciate all of you tuning in. We will catch you all next week.
See y'all next week.
Redline Network introduces our newest partnership, Outlaw Light. Outlaw is crafted for all of the beer drinking patrons of America. They aren't preaching or teaching. Their mission, plain and simple, to provide a high quality beer at an affordable price. Outlaw is crisp, crushable, refreshing. Available by the case, tall boys, 16-ounce 6-packs or singles. Go to outlawbeer.com to find the nearest can or tavern near you. The Redline Network proudly raises their cans to you. Stay bold, Outlaw.